Okay, I think this should be good. So this video could be slightly different. I don't know how I'm gonna start this because it's my first time ever doing something like this, and it's drastically different. Well, not I won't say drastically different for something that I've already been doing. Lately, I've been coming on here talking, about just experiences, personal experiences, things that are occurring in my life, and I could just say what made me what inspired me to make this video, even though we don't. Maybe the title will tell you, but are you one to believe in the dreams that you have? You know, like sometimes your dreams be telling you a story or something, or your dreams just kind of give you a vision. But for me, I never believe in that. I never believe in like dreams had a meaning. I always thought dreams were just dreams, a collage of information formulated into an idea, in your consciousness while you sleep. So I never thought nothing of dreaming. So to me, dreaming is just dreams. It's just random stuff. It's never to take seriously. And I always believed that. And occasionally you'll have a dream where it's just like out of the blue, and a lot of times it'll be random, but sometimes you may have a dream where you have a dream and a dream within a dream, and it's just like it's a scene here, and next is another scene where it goes with that first scene, and there's a third scene that all comes like it all has something to do with each other. And at that point, then that I think that's the moment when you're like, dang, those dreams really do have meaning. Because well, just last night, just this morning, if you see me read out the book, is because I had this dream and it was so crazy. It tailored to what's going on right now that it just woke me up out my sleep. And immediately I started writing because it was one of those moments where it was just right behind the other, like he was telling a story. And whenever you do have those specific dreams, you forget it immediately and can never retrieve what exactly happened to years later. So I was like, as soon as I woke up, because it woke me up. I'm gonna tell you why it woke me up, but it woke me up, and immediately I started to write. Like I was writing, and as I was writing, it's like I wasn't thinking. I was just writing and writing and writing, and as I was writing, the dream was formulated because at some point I was like, man, this gotta have some meaning. And I know it sounds cliche. I don't believe in no dream stuff. I don't. But it's just this specific collage of thoughts. It was all tailored to my life a little too well. And at that moment, I just had to put it on paper. But I wrote a lot down because, like I said, when you wake up, it's like that dream just fade away. All those things just fade away. But first and foremost, what I'm gonna start it off by stating that, you know, I believe all of us, even everyone deals with some sort of stress, or just managing stress is one thing behind the other, and you do a good job of managing it all, going through what you need to go through, dealing with it, and keep going. We all go through that. Everyone goes through that, and you do it well. Like it was a moment in life that you had to learn. We all had to learn through the steps of getting to where we at, to where we can manage it well. We all had to go through that, and now that we've gone through it, we feel like we can actually manage it properly and continue to push on. Well, that's me, for instance. I've been managing very well, adapting to a lot that's happening, and for some reason I don't know what happened out of the blue. It's just like all that stress management that I've obtained, just it flew out the window, and I started to feel antsy, fidgety. My mind wanders. I really couldn't concentrate. It's like it just went down a slippery slope, and I've been trying to do things to help it, and it was slowly put me into a funk. I was getting into a funk, and I don't know. And I think to myself like, yo, why am I going through the stress? Why am I? Well, I'm good at managing my stress, but why do I feel like I cannot control this? Why can I feel like I cannot handle what's going on? Why can't I retract my thoughts? Why can't I be pace? Why can't I pace myself? Why? And just last night, I was dealing with that really heavy. Like I felt it overwhelming me, and over the course of the day. And as I was just feeling overwhelmed, I was trying to do things to take my mind off of it, like playing a game or just reading or just trying to enjoy something. And yeah, I usually do some. I'm learning the 3D right now, so I try to work on that. But I can never stay focused, so I don't even try that. So I just try to do something to take my mind off of it. And I had a talk last night, and it was just discussing about heaven and hell, and people believe that heaven is white, cloudy, angelic, and white, where heaven is fiery red horns and devil like below and above. And what I truly believe is just heaven and hell is in your head. It's a mindset. And you can, that's why the saying hell on earth, because you literally have hell on earth. Because if your mental is going through so much turmoil, that is your hell. Everyone has a specific hell or heaven. Everything is specific towards and tailored towards that individual. So I categorize the last few year or so, I've been dealing with my own personalized hell. And I was just having a conversation, talking and trying to think to myself, like, if you're going through hell and you're in your personalized hell, well, how can I get my heaven? How can I get out of hell and get to my heaven? And I knew the answer, and because I asked my sister that, I knew the answer, but I just wanted to ask someone. So I asked her. I had the same conversation with her. I said, heaven and hell, and it's my state of mind. And I was like, if you was in hell, if you was going through your hell, how would you get to your heaven? And she responded with the answer, which shocked me because I wasn't expecting her to say that. So it really shocked me that she said that. And she was like, you do what you love. You do what you love. And when she said that, it made me feel kind of good, because I'm like, that was the answer. You do what you love, and through that is your heaven. And as you continue to do what you love, no matter what, heaven will increase itself in your mental state. And then at that point, then you will start to indulge in your heaven, because you will surround yourself in things you love, even may that be family, friends, activities, whatever. That's how you create your heaven. But after that, I kind of laid down. It was getting late, and I went to sleep. And when I went to sleep, I was really tired. I've been really physically, I would say, exhausted. I've been physically exhausted, and it's been feeling like life draining exhaustion. And it's like, when I say life draining, it feels like you're just docile. And to explain that, you're just coasting. You're just going. You're just dealing with what you're dealing with, not really fighting back, and just kind of losing a little bit of yourself. A little bit. You kind of feel like you're losing yourself, because you just feel so tired. You're very tired, man. You've just been trying to put on a brave face and manage and keep going, and you're doing good, but it's like every hit you take, it just bruises you even more. And you just kind of wither away, and it's like, ugh. You kind of just start dragging your feet after a while. And that's how I was feeling going to sleep. I feel like I was dragging my feet, just like, man, just kind of laying there, and just laying there, and just kind of at some point accepting whatever's happening and dealing with it, or not dealing with it, just accepting it. Almost feel pacifist, like just at that point you just rather just sit there and lay there and just let the life go by. And that's how I felt going to bed. So when I went to sleep, this is how the dream started out. The dream started out in an art room. And I'm gonna explain how, when I started writing stuff down, it all kind of makes sense in a way, right? It's crazy. I wrote it down just because I need to go back and remember, but it started off in the art room. Art materials. And you know how art rooms are. They got, like, different acrylics, paint, canvases, just clay, just different styles of art styles. And it had all that in it, just it felt really colorful, and it felt like your mind can wander a little bit and increase your creativity. And that's how it felt. And then the thing is, we're in this art room, but the art room had a a boxing ring in it. So it had a boxing ring in the art room, and there was these two students. I believe I was a student as well, It was two students in the art room, and they were boxing, and they got out the ring, and as they was taking off their gloves, after they done sparring, they started to argue. And when they started to argue, they was arguing on the way out the door. And then as they walk out the door, they start to fight. And I'm walking to them, I'm like trying to say, yo, stop. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, fight in here where it's legal. And when I said that, someone was in the background was like, exactly. Fight in here where it's legal and not out there. And as they walking out fighting, I'm looking at them throughout the door because they don't walk out the door at this point. I'm looking at them. And as I'm looking at them, something telling me not to even go out there. Like, they done gone too far, so don't even go. So I just look at them and I close the door. And when I closed the door, it was like immediately someone's like, hey, you heard what happened to such and such? And I was one of the students. And it was like, yeah. Something happened to him. You know what I'm saying? Something really happened to him. I don't know if they, whatever, but something happened to him. I know something happened to him. And it's like, dang. And kind of just kept on. I just kept on going with the walking in the room. And then I walked to this table. I walked to this table in the back, and I was going to grab something. I was going to grab, I don't know what I was, probably grab like a crayon or a pen or a brush or whatever. I was going to grab something. And I was grabbing something. I had stepped aside to get something from under the table. And out of nowhere, my aunt came. And my aunt came to the table, and she was getting to grab something. And then all of a sudden, something flew through the window, and it impaled her. Like, for warning, I know the story may get crazy and out of whack, and it may get may get weird. So I'm gonna give y'all forewarning. The story may take a turn, and I don't know if these things could be trigger words for you or whatever. So I just want to give you a forewarning. But something flew through the window, and for me, it sounded like a shotgun, like blah. And when it went through the window, it hit her, and when it hit her, she fell on her back, and she had like holes in her. And I ran to her, and I was like freaking out, like, yo, but I was freaking out, but I was like, it's like I was freaking out, but calm at the same time. So I'm trying to understand what's going on, what happened, but I'm calm and I'm freaking out at the same time. And then when that happened, the next scene changes. The next scene is the next scene now. So the next scene, they got her in a room. I don't know, it's like it was like blue. The typical electronic rooms is blue lights and it's just gadgets everywhere. It felt like that. She was on the table. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I had to steal a key card to get in. I don't know. Like I said, it's weird, man. But it was going with the flow too well. So I swiped the key card to get in, but it was no door. I don't understand it. I just swiped the key card and I went in. And when I went, I looked at her, and for some reason, something was telling me she's all right, she's cool. But when I was looking at her, it's crazy, man. But when I was looking at her, as soon as I started looking at her, I started looking at myself as a third person point of view. So now I'm looking at the room. I'm looking at me sitting down beside her as she landed on this table. And I'm looking at everything at a third person point of view. And as I'm looking at a third person point of view, I see myself, like, how you kind of, a eureka moment. It was that. I had a eureka moment. And I was like, and I run out the room. So when I run out the room, the scene changes again. And this time we're outside of a building. I don't know what building we're at. I try to think of, I don't know. I didn't get an image, but we're outside. And now my aunt is in a car, and I'm going to walk to her to make sure she's okay. So I walk towards her. We're talking. I can't really map out what she was saying, but all I remember is the last thing she said was, "Can you ride with me?" Because, my aunt is one, like, it's what she's just a girl. So can you ride? Can you ride with me on the way home? And when I'm talking to her, something is just like telling me not to get in that car with her, not to get in that car. So she's like, nah, I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna get in my car. I'm gonna ride. I'm gonna follow y'all, and I'm gonna meet you at the house. So she drives off, and I get in my car, and I'm pulling up at the stop sign, and I look left, nothing's there, and I look right, and I see two cars, and I look left again, and look right, and then now it's just one car facing me, sitting. It was one car facing facing me, and there was one car facing the opposite direction. So the car facing the opposite direction left, and the car that's facing me is still there. And for some reason, that gave me fear, paranoia. So it gave me paranoia. So I just make the left and I go. So as I'm driving, I still got this uneasy feeling. And as I'm driving, next thing you know, it's like mud like stuff get flung on my window, and then mark the X with two lines under the X, and then an arrow pointing at a ditch. And it pointed at a ditch, and it said, and on the window it was like, "You're next." And as I'm driving, I see where the arrow is pointing, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm no longer fighting the urge to fight back. So I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna just see what this. I'm gonna keep going, just to see. I can't, at this point, I don't feel like fighting no more. So I'm just driving. I don't turn around. I don't hit the brake. I don't want to stop. I just drive. I drive, and it's like if I would have lost the car, I wouldn't have cared. So I'm driving, and as I'm driving, I get by the arrow. And as soon as I get by the arrow that pointed on the side of the road, my car lifts up and it slams to the ground, and that's when I wake up. And for some reason, that just rushed to me. And I was like, I gotta start writing this down, because that dream, like that first, second, third scene dream, was all too. It was one behind the other, and usually dreams be so random, but that was one behind the other. So I started writing, and as I'm writing, a lot of things would become more clear to why it was like that. For me, I'm a very creative person. First of all, the art room, I'm a very creative person. And maybe that resembles me being like very creative. And there's something I'm fighting in that creativity that's preventing me to be more creative. Because why is there a boxing gym in the art room? And for me, I'm always extending myself. Right now, I'm just trying to clarify. I'm just trying to make sense to whatever this dream was, because they always tailor almost everything in that dream was, it tailors to me. So there's a boxing gym in the art room, and I'm just like, am I fighting something in my creativity that's holding my creativity back? And I can see that, because there's a lot of times I like to do things, I want to be creative with it, but there's moments where I just don't do it because there's something else I'm fighting. There's something else I got to deal with that's preventing me to do what I want to do, that make me creative. And then with the students arguing with each other, they end up going out the room. I hate to see talented people that's capable of a lot, because I see that a lot. A lot of people that's capable of so much that they don't even know and aware of. I see them, and I hate when they just let themselves go. And I do my best to try to prevent anything crazy from happening, because, man, we're capable of so much that we don't even know. So when that happened, I'm always extending my arm, trying to break up whatever. I think I would try to break up I would try to fix somebody else's issues or situation, rather than fix why this boxing gym is in my creativity. Like, they're not the problem. It's the boxing gym itself in the art room. But the scene when they walk out and I look at them as they continue on, something was telling me not to even go out this door and stop them from fighting or stop them from getting any harm. Stop them, like, do not go out this door. And I don't know what was making me not go out this door, but something, it was almost like dread was telling me not to go out that door. Do not follow them, do not stop them. They done gone too far. So I don't know what will make me want to not, like, just, it was just a feeling. And I haven't clarified that yet. But yeah, it was just making me, it just told me not to go. And then after that, with the scene, when I go back to the table and I grab my tools, my utensils, and then all of a sudden my aunt pops up. And I think my aunt pops up because I'm about to keep it real. We had some death in the family that was very unexpected, and very, very unexpected, and it put all us it put all us in a, I don't know what the word, but it hit a lot of us pretty hard. And it was in March, April, May, June. I think it was in June. I believe it would happen in June. I can't really think about it. I don't know. But we had some major death in the family, and it was really linked to her. It was my aunt's. It was my aunt's daughter and my cousin, and it's just something that we keep in the back of our head. Like, of course, me, I like, I I try to continue. I try to do better by me, and by me, I would want their lives to continue to thrive through me as well. So I try to. I don't dwell on it too much, and I don't. Whenever I have those moments, I just make me, all right, let's just keep on going. Let's keep going hard. This is even more reasons for me to keep going. So, my aunt pops up, and I think that's why she pops up in my dream, because she's one of those aunts that was very prominent in my life to really form me to who I am today. So seeing and having us go through all that, it really put a little crack in the glass. I don't even want to say that because we're strong. We're very strong. I won't even say it put a crack in it, but it definitely threw some rocks at glass. I say that it threw rocks at glass. Now maybe if it cracked it, who knows? But I don't want to put that out there. But it definitely threw rocks at glass, and it's just something we all still dealing with to this day, and we'll still deal with it. And yeah, so that's why I believe what made her pop up in my dream. Cause that's one thing that all out. We just you hate to see stuff like that, man. But sorry. So you hate to see stuff like that, and so she pops up in my dream, and I hate that what happened with the death in the family, and it's just like, it kind of puts you in like a routine, like what do we expect, and I don't want to get in that, but when that happened, when it came, when the sound I heard, it sounded like a shotgun shell in the dream, and it impelled her, it's like it's like at that moment it was like a hollow shell. It was like a hollow shell for me when I was in that experience. That's why I'm panicking, but I'm calm at the same time. It's like, okay, at this point I'm just hollow. And then after that, we get to the scene where she's laying up, and I'm there, and I gotta get a key card to get into this room. I don't know. It's like I don't know what that means, but I get in there and I look at her, and she's all right. She's hurt, but she's all right. And I see myself from a third person point of view, and I'm watching me, and I'm just like, I don't know what that symbolizes. I'm watching me sit there, and then it's like I think to myself, I know the problem. It's like at that moment I knew why these things are happening, and when I run out this door, and I run out this door, and that's the third scene. I get to this car, and I didn't get in the car with her when she was going home. I did get in the car because at that moment, I felt like everything is happening because of me. Everything. They argued because of me. You got hurt because of me, and I think I was the target. I believe I was the target because at that moment, it made me realize that a lot of stuff that do happen, even like now, if anything happened to a friend or family, I feel like I could have did something to prevent it, because if I was in a different position, I'd be able to help them, and they won't be in this situation if I was in a better position. Just for example, my aunt in that scene, she got impaled because she was in the position that I was just in. I just stepped aside to pick up something from under the table, and she was in that same exact position I was in. So she got hit instead of me. So in that moment, I'm just like, whatever's happening is after me. So I need to get me right. And I feel like I put a lot on my shoulders, and I put a lot on my heart that prevents that pushes me even harder. Probably pushes me to the brink, because I feel like if I was in a better position, a lot of the people that's around me will be better as well. So that when she asked me to get in that car, I knew that it was me, that whatever happened, like what all this is happening, the evildoer, what is happening, it is happening to me, and it's affecting those around me. It's bleeding to those around me, and I feel like it's only, I won't say only, but if I can just get me right, which I'm in a position where, I'm fighting, I'm working to get me right, and it's just taking a little longer than I expected. And I think that will really formulate everything. I'm in a position, I'm in a transition right now where I hit rock bottom, and it's like, man, if I feel like everything that's happened to me is bleeding to those around me, and I hate that. And I think that's what really causes me to have this much stress. because I know that I can do right and I can do good, but I gotta get me right. And right now I ain't right. So I didn't get in the car with her because I knew if I got in that car, something else would have happened. And when she left and pulled out, and then I look at the two cars down there, I look over and one of the cars left and one that's facing me. For some reason, those cars gave me paranoia, and I think all of it was kind of trickling down. Like if you keep letting yourself feel this way, it's gonna end up here. You're gonna end up here. You're gonna end up with the paranoia. You're gonna distance yourself from your family. You're gonna have that. You're gonna have these things will happen if you continue down this slippery slope. Because I didn't want to get in the car, make sure she was safe. I got paranoia. It's just like things was not going right, and so I got paranoia and I drive. And I make that left, and something random just get thrown on my car, and there's an arrow, and I guess I don't know what that is, what that paranoia, schizophrenia, I don't know what that may be, but all that happened. As soon as I get to the arrow, I'm no longer fighting. I let go, and as I get there, the car flies up and slams down. And I wakes up, but it's weird because it's like the first scene when they was arguing and they get out that door. I could have said, you know what, I'm gonna keep extending myself and keep going out there and stop them, but I said, nah, they too far gone. So I live to see another day. And then this happened. The scene where she get impaled through the window. She got hurt, and I feel like it was me. I'm the reason she got hurt, but she was okay. Things happened. She was okay. To live to see another day. But it's just like as things was going, things was happening. I kept feeling my life becoming more weak. I felt like I was getting dwindled. I felt like I was just, as moping. I don't know. I felt like I was just slugging around as the scenes were going by. So, next scene, I get into this room. She's laying there. I just feel like I'm just defeated. I'm defeated, deflated, and everything above. And it's like I have a eureka moment. But the eureka moment was me realizing that I'm the problem. It's me. It starts with me first. But it's like when I went back out and I saw her and I talked to her and I'm just like, I can't go with you. Like I can't. And my response is just so dreadful. I can't go with you. So not only that I'm just feeling defeated, I'm feeling dread. I feel like I can't change it, that I can't help no one. And I think that's what it is. When I first realized I couldn't help them from stopping, that's the beginning. I couldn't help. It's my fault. I'm feeling dread. I'm just starting to distance myself. And now I'm getting this paranoia feeling. Just like, and at the end, like it was a sign saying this is what you come, like this sign was right here, you're next, X mark right here. And you know what I did? I just kept going. I didn't care anymore. And I got there, picked my car up, and slammed it down, and I woke up. And at the end, like I said, I wrote it all down. If you can, hold on. I wrote it all down. Like I wrote, it's crazy that I can remember it because I wrote it down today, like about 30 minutes ago. Like it was a lot. I don't know if you really, but because the dream was just too. It started from this page. And then it came over here, and then it came over here. I think that's it. But yeah, and that's it. But it was too crazy. And as I'm writing it down, a lot of stuff started to click. And at the end of it all, it's like it was like phases of me. As the dream went on, I was getting weaker and I was losing my will and I was losing my strength. And at the end, when it really mattered the most, I just let it go to waste. I just said, all right, take me, bro. I'm done. I'm done fighting. I'm done. And that was the end of my story. And I know it sounds cliche, man. It sounds cliche. I know it, but who cares? Who cares, man? Who cares? It's just like, and I mean cliche or not, that's what the dream was. And as I'm writing, that's what it started mapping out to be. the creative room. There's a boxing gym in the creative room. I couldn't help no one from stopping from being arguing. Like we was in a boxing gym fighting in the boxing where it's legal. Why y'all fighting out here where you can get hurt? Or worse, go to jail. Like, if you could do it in the right decorum. Then I step aside and she get impaled. It's like what? And I have a moment like it's me, it's my fault. It's me, I'm the problem. They want me. If it starts with me. So I go outside and I see her and I talk to her. It's like, I can't go with you. I gotta distance myself from everyone because I feel like it's attacking me. Everything is attacking me right now. And that's kind of how I felt after a while. I was like, man, so much is happening. It's like, I don't want it to bleed nowhere else. And that's what it felt like. I felt like I was bleeding. And I just kept getting weaker. In real life, I kept feeling like I'm dead to the world. I'm just moving. Dead to the world on autopilot. And I just kept getting weak, and I felt that. And when it mattered the most, when that decision mattered the most, I just let it go. I kept going, having no strength to turn around or stop or force myself to not go where I know there's doom happening. And that was the end of my story. And it's crazy because after I finished writing all that down, I remember a quote for some years back. It's always with a quote, right? People always say that. But the quote is like, don't go gentle into that dark night, or don't go quiet into that dark night. And if you heard that quote before, it really talks about like old age and stuff like that, but it can also refer to anything. It can refer to your lifestyle, however, whatever age that you are. But as we go through these things, as we go through life, as we go through these problems, there's things that's going to attack us and challenge our character. And we can let it overwhelm us, consume us, and drain us from our life to the point where we just only want to fight back, and now we're just waiting for death. Or we can rage on. We can take these things to the chin, stand up tall, and say, you know what? It's not I am not at fault of everything. There's a lot of things that are out of my control that I can't control. That's just life. But what is in my control is how I react to it. If I'm going to stand up and I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to say, no, we're not going gentle. We're not going to just go gentle in that death. We're not doing that. We're not just going to ride to our death. We're not doing that. No, we're not going to distance ourselves. We're not going to do that. We're going to stay strong to who we are. And I think that really just sums up everything because, we go through this, we go through life, and this right here is for the strong people now. This is for the strong people. The people that has been doing what they need to be doing. Has been making sure things are getting done. But there's times where it just hits you out of nowhere and you falling short. And this is like, I did all that work. Like, why am I like this? Why do I feel this way? And that's because there's going to be times like that's going to challenge your character. It's going to challenge you to see how strong you really say you are. So, yeah, I think at the end of it all, when I was done writing, that quote, and if you don't remember nothing from this whole story because it's all over the place, which I apologize, I'm going to do better storytelling. But if you don't remember anything, I just want you to take this quote. If you haven't heard it before, go look it up because it got a whole more to the quote. It's a whole speech, I think. But if you don't remember anything else from this, I want you to remember to do not go silent into the dark night. I can't remember how it go, but do not go quiet into the dark night. Rage on. Keep going. Put gasoline to your flame. Do not dwindle. You're human. You're going to fall short. You're going to have these emotions. You're going to feel pain. But do not go quiet into that dark night.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night.